I remember Liam turning up one day with Some Might Say on a cassette.
Amazing.
Just everyone would be around.
Tell us a little bit about Tim's Twitter listening parties.
Yeah, well, every night at 10 o'clock, we'll put a record on or press play or start streaming an album by, it's a classic kind of like or a pretty well-known album by some of our favourite artists. And last night we had Sleaford Mods, and tonight we've got Ian Brody and Lightning Seeds. We've had Oasis, we've had Blur, we've had Franz Ferdinand. We've got Chemical Brothers, New Order, Paul Weller, all coming up. So it's just like ongoing. The list is long, and it's, we're booked for about a month.
Well, I did want to say it's almost a case of asking who you've not had at this stage, because every time I'm on Twitter, it's more announcements.
Yeah, I mean, just like, and really great ones, like Slow Dive and Mercury Rev and Wolf Alice. They're just everyone really seems supportive of it, and I think just realizes that people are really getting quite a lot of enjoyment out of it, and it's very strange times, and music is at its most healing.
Absolutely. I mean, I did want to say, sort of, Twitter can be an absolute cesspit of the internet at times, but it feels like it gets really positive just around that 10 o'clock time. So, I mean, you're definitely doing your bit, 100%.
Oh, well, thanks very much. I mean, it's nice to feel helpful,
Well, a lot of the people involved, you could say that they're your friends, you've known them for years, but I did want to ask, have any of the stories that have come up while you've been doing these parties sort of surprised you, stuff that you didn't necessarily know about those people?
I didn't realise that Dave Rowntree was so great at organising stuff. I didn't realise that I headlined Reading in 1999.
Blurry times.
Yeah, blurry times, and I didn't realise I had so many favourites on all of the albums. That's the thing, it's like choosing a favourite, before you put it on, and then realising that by the time you got to the end, you had lots of favourites. And
I followed along on the telling stories one, and I did feel like it was oh no, this is my favourite. Actually, no, this is my favourite track.
Yeah. But that, and I think I'd already said that it was Telling Stories was my favourite, and then I said that How Can You Leave Us was my favourite. So I think it's just it's great being able to sort of tell stories in real time as the music's going along.
Yeah.
And I do prepare a couple of questions, especially for the early tracks when I do it.
Right.
Beforehand, so I can sort of get it out there, so I can answer the incoming questions, as soon as they come in.
Sure, of course. I mean, you are pretty active on Twitter, so I can imagine you're good at being on top of that.
Yeah, a bit prepared. So working it in the afternoon. Well, it's a 24-hour. It's like become a full-time job now.
Yeah, I know. So if people wanted to sort of go back, I mean, presumably the threads are going to stay up there on Twitter, unless they get taken down for some reason. But I mean, people can just go back and do them as they want, right?
Yeah, and someone's been making kind of like I think it's called the Twitter memory or something like that, which I've got. I've definitely got one for Some Friendly and Telling Stories, and I've shared them a couple of times too, just in case you don't want to kind of troll back.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's amazing, it's like Piccadilly Records and 4AD have like slashed the prices of some of the albums that. We're Telling Stories was one of them, and Cocktail Twins is coming up, and a Fall one is coming up, and they've like half the price. I guess to encourage people to get the record,
absolutely,
before listening to it. But it's just helpful for everybody, and it's like it's a really great thing.
How do distractions now compare to those early 90s, when I suppose you were sort of having to get away just to avoid the tear up and getting up to no good?
Yeah, I don't know. The 90s were different. I mean, we're all in sort of very different sort of situations. When people ask me about the 90s, I always think that I was living in Chort Farm.
Yeah.
And Mark would always come from Manchester to visit me, and had like a flat above the Chort Farm tube station. And we just used to write, and we wrote North Country Boy there, and we wrote Just When You Think of Things Over there, and people would come in and out of the flat and share stories and play each other songs, and you know, I remember Liam turning up one day with Some Might Say as on a cassette.
Amazing.
Just everyone would be around, and I always think of Camden.
Fair
And
enough.
now, and it wasn't much solitude. It was all really more about kind of like connectivity, really.
Yeah. It's kind of an evening show tradition. Now, you've played some incredible shows over the years. Some you remember, some you don't remember. With the Charlotte, you've also put on some amazing ones with Tim Peake's Diner.
Oh
However,
wow!
I wanted to know what has been your worst ever gig where it's not necessarily all gone to plan.
I remember falling off the stage at Newport in 95, I think, and I fell into the barrier in between the audience,
Oh
and
no!
it was yeah, I was a bit worse for wear, a bit inebriated.
You didn't pick up any injuries, did you?
I did, but I kind of
Oh,
like I had to kind of like keep it together, and because if you're a bit worse for wear, sometimes the injuries only become more apparent the day after.
yeah.
So so I was fortunate with and I think the audience just thought that it was I was pulling an Iggy.
It's rock and roll. It's a dangerous game. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Radio X.